If your TV sounds funny in the evening, you're watching live from Studio 6B on Real America's Voice.
It is live from Studio 6B at Real America's Voice on a Monday, last day of the month, June 30th. Glad you're in, everybody. Welcome on in on a Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Get the brand new week started. Slick Rick sitting right there is going to do some sports. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell. Rick Delgado sitting here is going to do some news. Paul Nolan in the house as well with some news. Of course, Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Welcome on in on a Monday. Real America's Voice, and of course all across social media. YouTube, X, Rumble, Getter, Facebook, YouTube. What did I forget? Kick. Wherever you're watching, we appreciate it. Hit the like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, comment, get involved in the chat. We always appreciate that. Hope you had a great weekend, boys. I hope you did as well. Slickster, how are you?
I'm doing good, Big D.
How was your weekend?
Fantastic. We started a new routine with our moms. Once a month, we had them over for dinner because both our fathers had passed away. So we have them come on a Sunday night, cook dinner, the whole shebang. Filet mignon, right? $75 for 4 steaks, boy. They were good. So for our moms,
wow.
There's no price for nothing, right? So we had
They're worth
we had
it,
a lot.
right?
Where'd you pick those up?
1,000%. Lombardi's
Fillets.
Market.
Didn't have any ribeyes available?
They have ribeyes. Ooh, nice cowboy ribeye for you, Big D.
Man, I've been going for that over a fillet any day of the week and twice on
I got
Sunday.
a meat guy.
It's a great tradition, though, to do with our
Yeah,
moms.
Nolan's got a meat guy. You go meet him, you knock on the trunk 3 times.
Oh, that guy eat the sausage.
Yeah.
Right, he has Fix-A-Flat. He's got
He's got a free ribeye.
How's the pork, Paul?
Fix a flat and get a ribeye, yeah. Well, that's good, Slick. Nice to hear.
Yeah.
Mr. Delgado, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. I'm celebrating today the end of I don't care where you put your penis month, so that's good. It's the end of Gay Pride.
I'm sorry, what?
Were you at the parade yesterday?
No, not at all.
You're celebrating what?
The end of I don't care where you put your penis month.
Oh.
Because that's basically what the month is about, right? What else makes somebody who wants to be right?
What even is this?
What
even is this here on Monday? Brand new
On
segment.
steroids.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
When you have 2 people who want to be together, who cares? We don't need a whole month to celebrate just because, you want a sword fight with each other. Nobody cares.
They should call it Fetish Month.
Yeah.
Because nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
You're a furry. I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care what of those 13 letters or the
right.
apostrophe or the exclamation point. I don't care.
So I'm celebrating the end of that month and the beginning of Patriot Month because I think, if anything, the celebration of the nation's birth is probably worth more than a day.
Yes.
Right?
Of course it is.
Thank you. See? Slick knows what I'm talking about. Paul knows what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Damon's a little... he comes from Connecticut.
Damon doesn't want to know what you're talking about. That's what it is.
He comes from Connecticut. They're a little more liberal up there.
A little more.
Let me move on here and see how this one goes. Paul Nolan, how was your weekend? How was your weekend?
Great weekend.
The questions get harder as we go along.
On Saturday,
So did the
family,
month
we had a
of
big
June.
party. My 2 daughters both graduated from college. One
Congratulations.
got her master's, the other her bachelor's. And we had a nice family party. And then on Sunday, I did nothing. I didn't even go to church. I watched church online in my backyard living room. And I just relaxed. And I even got the kids to watch church, which was a big deal.
Oh, Joel Osteen?
No, I watched my own church. I love my church.
Oh, that's nice.
So you have your own church on? They do.
Yeah,
a
they
feed?
do it online. Yeah.
Oh, good.
And then I sat around and we watched Castaway, and I ate the leftovers. Then I watched Mars Attacks, ate more leftovers, and I went to bed by 8:45.
Damon, did it get any better? Mars Attack, Delgado must have came over.
Okay, at least that sounded like a weekend. Yeah, good.
What do you mean it sounded like a weekend?
Very good,
I had a
Paul.
good
How about you,
weekend.
Big D? You had a big weekend too, right?
I
Family?
did. My
Well, that's what I was
daughter's
Yes, 'cause Mom and
sweet
Dad were in.
My daughter, sweet 16.
Oh, wow.
We celebrated her sweet 16. We had a little brunch.
Mm-hmm.
She invited some of her friends. My parents came down from Connecticut. It was lovely, actually.
Is
Yeah.
the
By the
pool
way,
open?
your
We
daughter
lucked out
and
with the
wife
weather.
Are
You did.
lovely little clones of each other.
I'm sorry?
Your wife and daughter
Yeah.
are lovely little clones.
They are.
She's her clone.
I see a little bit of Damon in her, though.
Yeah,
I see
I
Big D in
They're
her.
both.
Well,
they
no,
could
not the
both
height.
dunk on
The
me.
height's a given, but just I see a little bit of her
I mean, that kid
personality.
could eat
in them.
off of my head like a snack tray. She's so much taller. But I'm a dwarf, so what am I going to do about it? I'm working on that.
Yes.
Been hanging upside down every day trying to get taller.
Keep trying. It was very nice.
Great
Very
kid.
nice. You are right about that, Paul. They are clones of each other.
And what a great kid.
Yeah.
She is a great kid, and she's a great mom, too. But we had a great time. Had an absolutely great time. Went to our one of the real staples here on Long Island. Although I still think Slick, a lot of people don't, I don't know if they don't realize it's here. I'm speaking of the beautiful Ohika Castle
Yeah, he doesn't do a good marketing
in Huntington, New
job,
York.
I don't think, you know.
But it is absolutely a gorgeous facility.
Mhm.
One of the great facilities in the country, I
Yeah.
say.
I
Beautiful.
dated Gary Melius' daughter. Should have stayed with her. Sorry, hon.
He only said that because he knows she's not watching.
100%.
Yes.
No, it's
But
nice.
it was
been
very
there.
nice, and
I've been there
Gary
a number of
was
times.
nice enough to come over and say hello, as he always is, very cordial when you arrive at his house. So
Was Harry there?
Harry was not there.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't working it.
Harry was not invited.
Oh, wow.
So, yes. Well, no, not because I wouldn't have invited Harry Slick, but my daughter invited her friends. She didn't want
Of
to deal
course.
with Harry.
I can't blame her. She wouldn't want to invite any of these guys.
No.
Yeah,
She
so-
knows better.
Because then Harry would have insisted on a +1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah, or
Harry-
trying to wire something up, or you know,
Right.
who knows what.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
And then the
still
place
seeing
would have
that
been on
guy?
fire, and we would have gone from there. So.
Hey, do
Yeah.
you have any friends?
So that's it. Hope you had a good weekend as well. 6 minutes past the hour, getting started on a Monday, last week of the month. Man, halfway through the year.
Crazy.
Halfway through the year already. 6 months of the Trump administration. Man, it's gone so fast. So fast. And, you know, I want to start, and Slick, I'm not trying to steal your thunder here tonight, but I want to start with a pseudo sports story because I didn't realize how bad it had gotten until I saw this headline in the Daily Caller.
This is great. And I'm a
Mets
Met fan.
continued to collapse after
my
pulling
goodness.
gay stunt
Oh,
is the
that was
headline.
incredible.
The Mets are in shambles. And it's so incredibly beautiful to witness. And, of course, all of my thoughts go out as I read this to my our friend Frank the
Frank the
Tank.
Tank, he's ready to
Because
lose his
he's
mind.
having 4 strokes a day. And I don't want to contribute to that because I think Frank the Tank is great. But if you don't know the situation, the Mets put themselves in hot water back on June 13th after showing the LGBTQ plus pride flag on the video board of Citi Field during the singing of our national anthem.
Yep.
Pathetic.
We reported
Mets-
on it. Yeah.
Yeah, that is pathetic. The Mets faced off against the Tampa Bay Rays in that night's game, coming into things with a flashy 45-24 record and a 6-game winning streak into that night.
A
And
lot of people
They were
don't
the
know
hottest
this,
team in the league.
but the
I mean,
Mets
yeah.
played that game nude.
celebrating their Pride Night, the Mets gave out Pride tank tops to their fan base prior to disrespecting our anthem.
Perfect
They
for
went
what?
all out for the gays and trannies, but it's like what it says in the Bible, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
Mm.
And that's exactly what's going on since then to the Mets. After flying the pride flag, don't tell me there's no coincidence here, by the way, that this is just happenstance. I say no. The Mets are gone now 0-6, and they've lost 10 of their next 11.
They may never win again.
Since that day. It looked like they were getting back to their ways after winning back-to-back contests against the Braves. But this past weekend, they would continue their bad stretch by getting swept by the lowly Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, the Pirates.
And to make it even more embarrassing, they didn't have to face off against their best pitcher, which, of course, is the guy there, Paul Skenes, who's dating that girl from the LSU gymnast there. They're pretty well known, whoever her name is.
Livy
Who
Dunn.
cares?
Livy,
Yeah, whatever.
no, she's a beauty.
Since pulling their little gay stunt, the Mets have tallied. The Mets have tallied an atrocious 3-13 record. And all I've got to say about that is, because that's just great. 3-13 since June 13th. They were outscored 30-4 by the Pirates this past weekend. They ranked 29th in ERA since then, 30th in base on balls since then, 30th in whip since then.
This is great.
Wow.
I've been a diehard Met fan my whole life.
Have you?
I'm done with them. That was my last straw. Lose every game the rest of the way.
Well, they just might. They just might.
Talk about getting flagged. Woo. They got flagged all right.
So they're number one in the league in getting balls. What'd you say?
No, base on balls, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Walking guys, 4 pitches, walk, take first.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
First in the league. That tells you how good their pitching's doing.
That's
Man.
awesome.
And they looked like they were going to be a shoo-in to really make a run this year.
They were on a roll.
They were the hottest team in the league.
And they were like the highest payroll.
Yeah.
Like they bought half the league. It's like they did everything they could.
That
and
was
this
terrible.
is what they get.
They could, and they tried to backtrack a little, didn't they? But they couldn't retract it, right?
Well, after you put a couple of men kissing on the jumbotron, it kind of
they will film it. They were like zooming in on Fruit Loops dancing with each other the whole entire night. It was disgusting.
It was crazy.
Yeah. So it's not a go woke, go broke, but it's go. I don't know what the name here would be, but it's just glorious what's happened to them.
Go gay. Okay.
Go gay, lose all day.
Go gay, lose every day. So that seems to be the new thing. So,
wow.
Wanted to start there. So the other big news is obviously the big beautiful. The big
Build Back Better.
Whatever we want to call this, Build Back Better on steroids. Biden's big, beautiful piece of crap bill that we're trying to pass. Oof. And the big news now is the parliamentarian. And while I'm all for the parliamentarian thing being a joke, let's not use it as an excuse to let the Republicans off the hook. And I said this, I think, about 2 weeks ago, and never had a chance to get to the article. I'll get to it tonight. But they're using it as a backstop to their inability to get anything done. Oh, look, the parliamentarian changed it. I hear it all day today. All day. Even from conservative talk. Oh, the parliamentarian changed it. I saw it on social media all day long. Blaming the parliamentarian from changing it to 51 to 60. I didn't see anybody. I tweeted at some point today, shouldn't we be more upset that we could only get 54 people to say, yeah, illegals shouldn't be getting Medicaid? Shouldn't we be more upset about that? The fact that, and then blaming the parliamentarian, which is just an excuse. Sorry, it's just an excuse for Republicans and for the president, because we all know when the president wants something, doesn't get something, doesn't like somebody, wants to endorse somebody, he gets what he wants. The Republicans here could be getting what they want if they actually wanted it. The president could be making the case if they wanted to make the case for either 2 separate bills, 3 separate bills, deal with the taxes. They could be getting whatever they want. But they're not. They'd rather blame the parliamentarian. Do they want to put J.D. Vance in there and overrule her? Haven't heard any talk about it. You think they have no options at their disposal? Of course they do. But all I heard all day, blame the parliamentarian. Blame the parliamentarian. I don't hear anybody talking about let's ignore her. Let's override her. Let's get rid of her. Let's put JD in the chair, in the president's chair in the Senate. All I hear is blame. All right, we'll talk a lot about this tonight. We'll do sports, other news as well. Live from Studio 6B, just getting started. Chat. What's going on, chat? Yes, I do realize a lot of you agree. I'm realizing it more and more and more. More people are coming around to how bad this thing is.
You know, it's going to $1 trillion a year to the military-industrial complex and $1 trillion a year to interest. $2 trillion a year. Huh.
A lot of people.
I would like to.
I used to take a lot of heat for this, saying this bill sucked, and now all of a sudden, not as much. Not as much. People starting to get to the end of their rope.
Well, don't you think we're damned if we do and damned if we don't? No matter what happens, this dollar has been under savage attack for 30 years. U.S. dollar has been assaulted.
Howdy, rumblers, rumble.
I mean, the dollar was at 117 6 months ago, highest it's been, and now it's at 96.
What's going to happen?
But isn't that one of those weird things that a weaker dollar is actually better for us? Is that an argument?
Press the bond market, force interest rates down.
Howdy, Twixers.
I think there's no stopping digital currency.
Honest way. Oh, it's here already.
So funny. Sometimes I go over to Reuters because it's a CIA mouthpiece pile of garbage. You got to see the headlines today. It's like one Trump orange man bad thing after another. It's just it's like a pep rally for careful. The regurgitating leftist
We got
lowlifes.
a super chat there. Slickness from Child
You
of the
guys
King.
Child of the King's
Child
back.
of the King. I haven't seen Child of the King in a while. Yes, thank you. $20. Hello, boys. I have missed you all. I hope you are all well. We are well. We're doing well, Child of the King.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick, for picking that one up.
Got it.
Rick Delgado on the spot.
I'm on the spot.
Yes, sir. You are the man.
Howdy, YouTubers. YouTube.
Do we have the live of the Senate floor, Aaron, you said?
See, Musk is threatening.
Oh, you
the
have?
primary.
I'm sorry. I didn't even... Is there any audio worth... let's see it. Live from Studio 6B, 17 past the hour on a Monday. Last day of the month. Brand new week starts tonight, Monday night. Tomorrow, July 1st. We will be with you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're off Friday for the 4th of July. Off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll be back Monday. No show on Friday. So, I'm sure I'll still get emails. Where are you guys? I'm telling you now.
I'm at the warehouse.
I'll tell you every day up until Friday. No show on Friday. We'll be off for the 4th. And we hope, we'll talk a lot about the 4th on Thursday night show, as we always do. Then we'll be back, obviously, on Monday. So 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. And so we're going to talk more about this parliamentarian nonsense in this total blame for Republicans' weakness, trying to place it on her, and they've been doing it for 2 weeks now. And it kind of came to a head today when we couldn't get 60 votes to say illegal aliens shouldn't be getting Medicaid. 1.4 million, I believe, is what would have been taken off the ability to get free health care. And the Senate couldn't pass it because they only got 56, I believe, votes for it. And all I heard was the parliamentarian talk. I'm thinking, well, isn't there anybody upset that we could only get 56 to say, yeah, that sounds like a bad idea. They shouldn't be getting that still? What are we mad about the parliamentarian for? Anything she recommends could be ignored or overridden with a majority vote. And they could put JD in the chair if they really wanted to. So this is just performative by the Republicans. Oh, it's the parliamentarians' fault. And everybody's running with it. It's nonsense. As I told you, never got into it. The GOP holds the gavel. Trump holds the mandate. The parliamentarian holds nothing. So why are Republicans acting like she runs the Senate? And I notice we have a live shot of the Senate floor. I don't think there's anything worth listening to right now, but obviously the voting continues tonight, and there's different amendments. What's on the screen now, Aaron? What are they taking a vote on something? I can't. Motion to what? Motion to spend more damn money? Mm-hmm. Who knows?
Motion to order in Uber Eats.
Yeah, exactly. Daniel Horowitz from The Blaze a week ago, which I just haven't had a chance to get to. First, we were told the unelected federal judges could dictate all the policy, the law, the appropriations. Now the excuse for the Senate inaction is the Senate parliamentarian. Left-wing protesters chant no kings, but nearly every major Trump-era domestic policy was blocked by a court. Nearly 200 actions on immigrations, personnel, spending, transgender issues were all halted or overturned by the judiciary. Today, the good provisions in an otherwise lackluster reconciliation bill are being gutted not by Congress, not by voters, but by a Senate staffer. If Republicans refuse to overrule the courts, the parliamentarian, or anything else standing in the way, what exactly is their plan? What's the point of winning elections if Democrats, judges, and bureaucrats are still going to call all the shots? Do they really expect to get 60 Senate votes? Well, no, obviously not. Over the past week, Senate parliamentarian Elizabeth McDonough ruled that a long list of provisions violate the Byrd Rule and can't be included in the reconciliation bill. And he goes through them. But again, the essence of this article is when Trump has wanted something, and you can think about all the things, some of the things I'll speak for myself, I've disagreed with when it comes to going after, look what he's doing right now with Massey, going after Massey. He's going to try to fund a primary challenger because that's what he wants, and that's what he's going to get. He's endorsed the people he wants, good or bad. He's got what he wants. When it's come to pressuring, even on this bill, we've seen him pressure Freedom Caucus members, Massey, Rand Paul, others, Ron Johnson, even though he likes Ron Johnson. But Ron Johnson's like, no, not going to be a part of this. Trump's gone out publicly and talked about him. The point is, if Trump wants it and he made the case, the Republicans could go do it. They could go get it. He could go get it. But yet, we don't see anything like that when it comes to this. We've seen no recommendations to break this up into separate bills. We've seen no pressure on people like the Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham remains untouched. And I see now Chris LaCivita is going to be part of helping Lindsey Graham get reelected. He's going to join his team. That's Trump's guy. I mean, I can't make it make sense.
He's got to have something on everybody. Lindsey Graham, right?
Totally.
But the point is, Republicans are going to hide behind McDonough, the parliamentarian, to justify this bill so that we get all the horrendous parts through and all the good parts they're not going to fight for, like this one. 1.4 million illegals continue to get free Medicaid after they can't pass the bill today, and they blame her.
That should be a slam dunk, right?
Which was the point of my tweet. I mean, we're okay, fine. I'm all for putting JD in there, overruling or whatever they have to do if they actually want to fight for it, which seems like they're just like, oh, we didn't get 60, so okay, what's next? But it's just, come on. But it's just the way it always is.
You know what it sounds like,
you get the worst parts of everything codified and all the good stuff, because they run into a little opposition, they just never fight for it. The Byrd Rule. This is the excuse now to flush all the good stuff down the toilet.
I feel like it's part of the game, right? And it's almost like, okay, this would actually be a good thing to do, but there's too many people that are feeding off this teat, so we can't let it happen. We can talk about it, we can make a big stink about it, but we can't let that actually pass, and they'll find a way to make sure, be like, look, it's not even us, it's that person, right? Yep, meanwhile, that person could be in on it with them going, oh, you want me to do that? Sure, I'll
I'm playing the role of villain this week?
Right,
okay.
Exactly.
Can I get a win with the public in a month from now?
Exactly.
Sure.
So here's the most important part I want you to know, so that if you argue with people about this, you understand. And this is all linked on our socials. The most important part to get straight: the Senate parliamentarian does not make the rules. The presiding officer makes the rules, and the majority party controls the chair. The office of the parliamentarian didn't even exist until 1935. The parliamentarian sits below the presiding officer, not above him. Her advice is just that, advice. The Congressional Research Service puts it plainly. Quote, as a staff official, neither parliamentarian is empowered to make decisions that are binding on the House or Senate. The parliamentarians and their deputies' assistants only offer advice that the presiding representatives or senator may accept or reject. Everybody needs to understand this, because all you're hearing talk is as if this is like God Almighty came down and said, this is what will be. And then you have to go, oh, okay, this is what will be. Nothing we can do. J.D. Vance, as the president of the Senate, can overrule McDonough at any time. Here's how he does it. When Democrats raise a point of order against a GOP-backed provision, McDonough may say it violates the Byrd Rule and must be stripped. But then the presiding officer, J.D. Vance, if they so designate, can simply say, no. That provision stays in the bill. Then the Senate proceeds under the reconciliation process and passes the whole thing with a simple majority. Trump could make this happen. He can threaten to send J.D. Vance to the chair if Majority Leader Thune refuses to play ball. Thune can demand McDonough's firing just as Trent Lott did in 2001 when the parliamentarian ruled against Republican priorities back then. Trump is right to be frustrated. He demanded that Congress cancel the July 4th recess and finish the job, but he also needs to make clear that he will not accept a watered-down deal. Draw the red line around immigration and the Green New Deal. The American people didn't elect Elizabeth McDonough. They elected President Trump. And no unelected staffer has the right to overturn the will of 77 million voters. All right, sports, news, all coming up right after this. Firing off memberships I'm seeing come across green.
Child of the King.
Child of the King, thank you very much.
Gifted
What
20,
does that
20
mean?
No. Child
50.
of the King is given 50 and 20. 70 memberships, it looks like.
Holy
She gave
Moses.
50. Child of the King gave 50 initially. No, I'm sorry, gave 20 initially and 50. She's given 70. That
She's a
last thing.
sweetheart.
70.
That's way more than you, Damon.
I'm giving mine tomorrow, first of the month. I always give them out. That is the comment and point of the entire day, Damon. Yes, what I just posted for everybody who was asking, that's the key. That's the key. Anybody you hear talking about this that's not talking like that is not talking about it. Just blabber. That's the point. That's the money paragraph. No one's talking about it. Oh, the parliamentarian said it's got to be this way. No.
Yeah, I mean, again, big bill, war, no arrests. Come on, man. I wish I would have given him a year. We said how long we'll give him before we're going to be.
Oh, your guys' clock is way up.
Minus,
What do you guys owe me? You owe me
15.
something like a trip to the Sphere or something, right?
No, you
No,
got a
mine's
couple
July
weeks.
15.
Yeah, you got.
Yours is when?
I got 2 weeks.
All right, you got 15 days.
Well, no, you got to the 21st.
Oh, the 21st. That's right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was the 22nd.
No, because it was the
23rd.
first day of the
was like
administration,
11
and
o'clock.
he said, give me 6 months.
6 months from the first day
So
of the
that would be the
administration.
21st.
Oh, because
And
he
the
was sworn
sun-
in on 21st.
Right.
And the summer
20th.
solstice.
Right.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then maybe I'll stretch it to the autumnal equinox.
You could stretch it to the last day of his administration if you think you're going to have something about the Epstein. You're still going to owe me.
Definitely by the
I got to be
Olympics.
honest with you. I got to be honest with you. I wouldn't mind like a misdemeanor or a jaywalking at this point. Just give me something.
Give me an indecent exposure.
No, don't get. Wait,
I'm not talking you.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to know.
I would have been in the parade
I've seen enough of
yesterday.
that at the Met game.
Yeah, go to the parade yesterday.
Did J.D. Vance know what I just read? Of course they know. That's what's so frustrating. Why isn't he in the chair? Again, back to the simple point. If Trump wanted something, he could get it.
Thank you, Michael. Saying amen to that. Now let's pray for.
30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. Brand new week getting started. Glad you're in. Slick's going to do sports right now. Paul Nolan's going to do some news. Vic Delgado's got the greatest headlines in the world. I think that's what they're called these days. We'll do those as well.
Yes.
Thank you. What even is that coming up?
Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday or Thursday before we leave for the 4th of July break. We will be off on Friday. No show on Friday.
No. What's going to air in our place Friday night?
Fireworks.
It's fireworks all night? They're going to show explosions all night?
Helen on Rumble says, please stop saying that, Damon. It's inaccurate and breeds distrust. Helen, let me know what part you're talking about when you say that. I don't know what you're referring to, so let me know. In the meantime, while we're waiting for Helen, let's do sports. 30 minutes past the hour. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. They sponsor sports. Code LFS6B if you want to shop at MyPillow, which I will be doing actually myself and using my own code when I get my son his stuff for his college roommate. College roommate. Nice. College room.
Oh, you spend a lot of money with Mike.
We're going to get the mattress topper. We're going to get a couple other stuff.
The neck pillow, I think they're going to need that for sure. For studying. Yeah.
So I'll be doing that myself using code LFS6B. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, well, we had a couple of passings of some legends over the weekend I want to get to because obviously we didn't do the show. So trainer D. Wayne Lucas, winner of 15 Triple Crown races, dies at 89. I had reported earlier in the week that he was very ill.
Yeah, that was quick.
Very quick, right? AP report. A couple of folks in the chat, including Janet Guerrero in YouTube. She already shouted me out as well about this. D. Wayne Lucas, the Hall of Famer, became one of the most accomplished trainers in the history of horse racing and a face of the sport for decades. Has died. He was 89. His family said Sunday that Lucas died Saturday night at his home in Louisville, Kentucky. Lucas had been hospitalized with a severe MRSA blood infection that caused significant damage to his heart and digestive system and worsened pre-existing chronic conditions. Wayne devoted his life not only to horses but to the industry, developing generations of horsemen and horsewomen and growing the game by inviting unsuspecting fans into the winner's circle, his family said in a statement. Whether he was boasting about a maiden 2-year-old as the next Kentucky Derby winner or offering quiet words of advice before a big race, Wayne brought heart, grace, and grit to every corner of the sport. His final days were spent at home in Kentucky, where he chose peace, family, and faith. His accomplishments: Lucas won 15 Triple Crown races, including the Kentucky Derby 4 times. Only good friend Bob Baffert has more Triple Crown victories, and Lucas owns a record-tying 20 in the Breeders' Cup World Championship. So some sad news definitely in the horse world for sure. He will be seriously missed, well known throughout the industry. Another fella that was really well known too, great baseball player Dave Parker, Baseball Hall of Famer and former NL MVP, as well as Hall of Famer, dies at 74. Parker will be formally inducted into Cooperstown in July, actually. Hall of Famer Dave Parker has died at the age of 74. The Pittsburgh Pirates announced Parker's death before their game on Saturday, as did the Cincinnati Reds, who he played for later on in his career. Parker played for 6 teams during his 19 Major League seasons, 11 of those seasons with the Pirates. He also played for the Reds, A's, Brewers, California Angels, and Toronto Blue Jays. During his MLB career from 79 to 91, Parker batted .290, .339, .471 with 2,712 hits, 339 home runs, 526 doubles, and 1,493 RBIs. Also stole 154 bases. He won the World Championship with the 1979 Pirates. Remember that? The We Are family with Pop Stargell and, well, the Pittsburgh folks down there, our viewers, they remember that well. And the 1990-89 Athletics, which was a powerhouse team as well, was a 7-time All-Star and earned consecutive National League batting titles in 78 and 79. Kind of came, quietly. I don't think a lot of folks realize, but he died from complications of Alzheimer's, which is what he passed away for. Oh, wow. 74, way too young for that, and just so sad to hear about that. Absolute great ball player, definitely deserves conversation. Does go a little back in the day. You're talking about, late 70s, early 80s. Well, he played throughout the 80s, actually, but mainly remembered as a Pittsburgh Pirate, no doubt about it. But in his later years, he did play with the Reds, and the Cobra, that was his nickname. He was a tank. Parker was just incredible. So, Hall of Famer, great. Passed away, and rest in peace, Dave Parker. That's a wrap in sports, Big D. I'll get you some scores. We have NHRA over the weekend, hot rods, and we're going to bring some rodeo in as well. We'll round that all up along with the golf.
All right, Slick, 34 past the hour. We'll do some more sports. Sports brought to you by, again, Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. If you want to shop at MyPillow, go to MyPillow.com/LFS6B for all the best deals for this audience. Let's do some of the top headlines in the world. And here with that is Rick Delgado. He's got them. That's brought to you by our friends at Eternal Life Coin, eternallifecoin.com. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, you want the biggest news stories in the world, Damon? I have them right here. I'm going to share them with you. Let me know what you think. Of course, in the chat, if you enjoy this. According to this, the best governor in the world, Damon, has just made himself even better.
Mm-hmm. What's going on in Florida?
I will tell you, Governor Ron DeSantis has announced a tax-free period on guns, outdoor gear, and it's all starting very, very soon. So if you're a Floridian or soon-to-be Floridian, take it from the governor himself. He's got a little something to share with you. This is cut number 13. Check this out, cut 13.
Normally, these taxes grow. So thanks for doing that. I think that that's well intended. And then thank you also for heeding my call to deliver a Second Amendment tax holiday. And so firearms, ammunition, accoutrement, as well as other outdoor items like fishing and bow hunting and things are going to be tax-free from September 8th until December 31st of this year. So you're going to be able to do very well.
Yeah, you're going to be able to kill whatever you want, tax-free, down in Florida. Like he announced, the holiday is going to run starting in September and at the end of December in 2025. Of course, this is something to, again, he's trying to promote the state and give the Florida people some savings, and the calculated savings could amount to as much as $8 million or more for Florida purchasers. So that's another great thing to look forward to if you live in the state of Florida, David.
Yeah, there's Florida, and then there's every place else, and it's not even close. Did you hear in that same speech he talked about? Huh?
Please tell me you heard about the Gator Alcatraz.
Trump's going down there tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic.
Alligator Alcatraz is awesome.
Trump's going down tomorrow because it's already ready. That's one thing.
Yeah.
But in that same speech, he talked about this lunatic that New York puts up for a Democrat mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he says, if this guy wins, he says, with the influx of people moving from New York to Florida, we'll probably be able to finish off paying off the rest of Florida's state debt. Do you know Florida state debt to GDP is 0.9% right now?
Incredible.
0.9%. The federal debt to GDP for the feds, 121%.
I'm at the point right now, I'm ready to snowbird from South Carolina to Florida. Just stay the heck out of the north. I'm sick of it.
You
crazy.
wouldn't be crazy, I tell you
The
that.
price is white. That was the headline in the Post. The story today was Zohan Bandami's anti-billionaires declaration is an anti-New York City and so many things that make it great. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. If this guy wins with all his Muslim Brotherhood financing and all these communists who are just finally out there in the open saying we got to support socialism, if this guy wins, I mean, New York is doomed.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact, again, look no further than the comments he's already made. There should be no billionaires. You know, this guy wants you and I and everybody else to be on exactly the same
Communism.
misery. Everybody needs to be the same so you can all live in the same misery. That's what he wants.
Except for him and his friends.
Well, no, yeah, of course. What's good for me is not good for thee.
Right, exactly.
And
that takes
finish, I'm sorry, just to finish off on Florida, then Florida budget that DeSantis just put forward again reduces year-over-year spending again for like the 5th or 6th year in a row. I mean, again, there's Florida and there's every place else. Even the red states, other red states are starting to, the gap is widening between what they're doing, what he's doing there, and what everybody else is doing. It's just not even comparable.
And I don't know if you remember, I think it was last week, he was talking about getting rid of the tax on people's property, the state property tax.
Yeah.
It's like, why is it that you buy a home, but you still have to keep paying for it even though you own it and you paid it off?
Exactly right.
And you know,
and
it's
again,
criminal.
Who else is talking like this?
Yeah.
There is nobody.
Tax is theft.
Yeah. Well, segueing to my next story, Damon, of the greatest headlines in the world, someone you also mentioned, Zohan the Destroyer, is at it again. Of course, more is being revealed by the presumptive New York City mayoral contender as he wants to hike property taxes for the richer whiter neighborhoods. Yes, you heard that right. Of course, that's the goal, is divide, divide, divide. As a socialist mayor candidate wants to hike property taxes, like I said, in an eyebrow-raising proposal that aims to ease the burden on homeowners in the outer boroughs. The soak-to-rich proposal is buried in Mondani's campaign platform that calls to fix the city's notoriously skewed property tax system, in which ritzy brownstones are hit with lower rates than homes and rentals in lower income neighborhoods. Here he is talking about it, and he refuses to change his position on it. Cut number 9. Here is Zohan talking about wanting to tax those evil white people. Cut 9.
We went on your website and realized there's a policy proposal that says your plan, and I'm going to quote it for folks, is to shift the tax burden from overtaxed homeowners in the outer boroughs to more expensive homes in richer and whiter neighborhoods. Explain why you are bringing race into your tax proposal.
That is just a description of what we see right now. It's not driven by race. It's more of an assessment of what neighborhoods are being undertaxed versus overtaxed. We've seen time and again that this is a property tax system that is inequitable. It's one that actually Eric Adams ran on, saying that he would change in the first 100 days. He's since sought to defend it and lost at every juncture in court.
And I understand you're saying we're simply describing the types of neighborhoods that would see these increase in taxes, and yet by invoking race, do you run the risk of...
You're not going to get anything from an interview with her hosting it. You're not going to get anything. You're never going to. This guy's going to go nowhere that he's going to get any real questions. So just forget trying to figure. I mean, come on. You're going to get nothing from any of these people who interview this guy. They're not going to ask any serious questions. They're not going to get in his face about what he really believes. He is a Islamist radical. Call him what he is and ask him the questions about it if you're going to have him on his show. But to ask him a question like that, and she asked him a few, not even tough, but just, I mean, basic questions, and then he gives her these lame answers, and then she throws in with him right after that. So what you're saying is, no, we don't. No, you're not going to get anything. Come on.
Yeah, it's amazing. And last story before the break, Damon, the big story from over the weekend, the gunman who opened fire on those firefighters in Idaho. The suspected gunman has been found dead after fatally shooting the Idaho firefighters. The 2 first responders died on the scene, and 1 is currently fighting for his life after a total ambush in Idaho. They were shot and killed as they responded to a brush fire, allegedly that this guy set to kind of draw them in. One other wounded firefighter was out of surgery as of late last night. The fire, again, appeared to have been part of an ambush, the sheriff deputy said, as he took aim at the firefighters who were responding to it. And it turns out, I guess he wasn't using, according to what they're saying now, he wasn't using a rifle. He was using a shotgun. So that gives you an idea.
So much closer.
He was much closer, than previously thought.
He's dead now.
Yeah, he's dead now. They found his body. They haven't released a name just yet.
Well, they have released a name.
Did they?
I knew the name before I even knew that he was dead.
I guess they're not confirming the name.
You talking about Wes Rowley?
They're just saying there was a male appeared to be deceased with a weapon nearby. So.
All right, live from Studio 6B. Do a little more news. Wrap up hour 1 when we get back right after this.
So you got 2 of the deep staters not knowing, one of them not knowing the name, the other one IDing the guy.
Wasn't there the other Idaho guy who just pleaded guilty to avoid the
I have that.
College, it's the college.
So you got every story you do. I
you can jump on that.
No, it's fine. I'll just try to find some.
It was just a normal.
I have a handful of obscure stories because I have the worst news in the world, and you got the best. It's all good by me. I'm too. By the way, I am too old to demo every day.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. God bless you, Paul.
Bro,
I wouldn't be able to move at night.
Hey, did you see Ben Askren had actually double lung
Be able to move.
transplant? Ben Askren,
Yeah.
the UFC fighter,
Yeah.
he's undergone a successful double lung transplant now.
So that's yep. I'm retired a few years.
Yeah.
By the way, how did Oliveira do
Oh,
on
he got
Saturday?
killed.
He got
I knew
killed.
it.
Oh my
Was it a
God.
knockout?
It was a wipeout. First
First
round.
When I saw him in the betting card, I'm like, is that his
It
son?
was like 3 boom, boom.
I honestly was thinking, is that his son? Like, how could he possibly still be fighting?
It was like a buzzsaw.
That kid he fought, I forgot his name, but I was watching the highlights, so I was going
Elliot
to bet, but
Taporia.
he was minus 480. You can't bet that.
His record's good, right? 17, 18.
He's probably the best we've ever seen at that
He's that weight.
that weight class.
Yeah, he's like 18 and 0 now. Kid's like a buzzsaw.
It's amazing. It's a new generation of super fighters.
Oh my.
And if he fights Paddy Pimblett next, he will literally maybe kill him.
They're calling for that fight.
I know they are. Pimblett jumped
It's funny
in the
because
ring.
Patty is such a great showman, a great
He
salesman.
doesn't really want that, Big D. You could tell. He don't really want that guy.
I
No
don't think
way.
so.
Get out of here. No
I think
way.
Patty wants to fight everyone.
I like Paddy, by the way.
Yeah,
I like him a lot, but
he's
I
gonna get
don't
killed.
think he
I don't think he's in the
any
same class as
chance
this
against
kid.
Taporia.
He's going to look like a patty cake.
But the thing about Patty, man, there's something about him. Like, he just keeps finding a way to, like, snap someone's arm or, choke him out.
Oh, he's good, no doubt. But that's a different level.
Deontay Wilder was out there, Big D. If you see him over the weekend, he looked
No.
terrible. Oh, my God. He's 39 years old. He won. He fought some journeyman. It was like a 9-round TKO. The guy, he couldn't put the guy out. I mean, this guy's in like a nobody.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday. Real America's Voice. Slick's going to do some more sports. Delgado's going to do some more headlines. Paul Nolan's here. He's got some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Mr. Nolan, what's on your radar on a Monday night?
Well, I would like to just keep talking about this Idaho psychopath. Suspect Wes Raleigh claimed, "I'm going hunting," in chilling post hours before deadly ambush. As new details are revealed, the Idaho killer Wes Raleigh posted a chilling online photo of himself wearing a mask in camouflage with a belt of shells, along with the Bork, whatever the hell, that wacko lyrics, ominously warning, "I'm going hunting," just hours before his ambush. Creepy post was among a slew of new details about the horror revealed at the sheriff's press conference. Authorities said Raleigh had been living out of his car before the heinous attack, which left 2 firefighters dead and another critically wounded. He said more than 300 law enforcement officers and various agencies responded to the scene once shots started, and they spent hours trying to neutralize Raleigh. His abandoned car was rolled off the mountain ledge to prevent him from escaping, while engine wheels were deflated to keep him from stealing one to slipping away. This is something out of a horror movie, and there's really no.
I mean, it's just
how do you? It's just disgusting. I just like so I don't know, man. That story makes me ill, and then there's the I don't know. The other clip I really wanted to get to was about Palantir. I've been talking about Peter Thiel and some of the things he's kind of got away with. Like, I just feel like he's a little bit on the too much, could have too much power. I always get a little concerned about stuff like this. I saw a clip today that was pretty interesting. It was a long interview. I tried to listen to it while I was working. I only got about 20 minutes of an hour and 10 minutes, but this clip stood out to me, and I'd love to have your guys' reaction to it. It's about a minute and a half.
My very specific question for you, right, is that you're an investor in AI. You're deeply invested in Palantir, in military technology, in technologies of surveillance, and technologies of warfare, and so on, right? And it just seems to me that when you tell me a story about the Antichrist coming to power and using the fear of technological change to sort of impose order on the world, I feel like that Antichrist would maybe be using the tools that you were building,
now,
right?
If
like,
you pause it for 1 second. So he had some really weird statements about how the Antichrist would be using a technological AI way. He named his company Palantir because of why? You guys know what Palantir stands for?
No.
You ever guys hear of the Lord of the Rings? Mm-hmm. Palantir was essentially the all-seeing eye that owned, of Sauron. It was just like it was just a really creepy way to name your business, which now, if you guys know, he's been given 17 agencies, and he's been able to take the data from every one of those agencies and, fuse it all into one database. And this metadata, like this new thing, it's going to really be able to create a real impressive pre-crime, like the movie Minority Report. Mm-hmm. It's going to, it's pretty fascinating, but it really is the end of any form of privacy anybody in America has. Yeah. So the question I have for you is, would you prefer your privacy or would you want safety? So that's been the age-old Ben Franklin-like question.
Right.
You ask for more safety and you get neither, right?
Well, you ask for more safety, you have to give up some of your privacy. In the end, you get neither.
You get neither.
Yeah, exactly.
So he was talking about how this technology would be for something that how the Antichrist would use it. And this is a good job by this interviewer by really pushing a little bit back on this. Now, I know it's not a great deal of context. Yeah, I'd like to have done more of this interview, but like I said, I busted my butt all day and I didn't have enough time to cut up clips. So you can finish it.
Christ be like, great, we're not going to have any more technological progress, but I really like what Palantir has done so far, right?
Yeah,
isn't that a concern? Wouldn't that be the irony of history would be that the man publicly worrying about the Antichrist accidentally hastens his or her arrival?
There are all these different scenarios. I obviously don't think that that's what I'm doing.
I mean, to be clear, I don't think that's what you're doing either. I'm just interested in how you get to a world willing to submit to permanent authoritarian rule.
Well, but again,
just
there are these different gradations of this we can describe, but is this so preposterous, what I've just told you, as a broad account of the stagnation that the entire world has submitted for 50 years to peace and safetyism? This is 1 Thessalonians 5:3. The slogan of the Antichrist is peace and safety.
Yeah, so I'd like to maybe, I'm not going to be in.
Anybody have cliff notes they can send me?
Yeah, but you didn't pay attention. You're over there reading the whole time. You didn't. This is interesting stuff, and I just think that anybody who acts like this is not a big deal is just sleeping at the wheel, just like we did through the Patriot Act, and just like we did through every other one of these erosions of liberty and freedom.
So let me ask you this question, Paul. Someone brings it up on YouTube. You guys get worried about Palantir, but then you're happy when they use it to find illegals. LOL, double standard. What do you say to that?
No. That's how they're going to sell it to you. That's how they're going to sell it. They're going to tell you that give up your privacy for your safety. They're going to tell you that if you care about your neighbor, and they're going to socially engineer you, just like they did with COVID. Oh, you didn't get the shot, Bobby?
Oh, yeah.
What, are you trying to kill my kid?
Yep. Right.
Well, shucks, no, Jerry. I just didn't want to take an experimental shot. You're a kid killer. And that's going to be the same thing with this. They'll sell you the same thing. They'll erode your liberty the exact same way, but this time they'll do it from the right side of the birds of the same wing, two birds of left wing of the same BS. So
COVID was the
they'll
precursor.
sell it to you, and everyone will say, "Oh, I trust Trump," and fine, I trust Trump too. But if this thing goes through the way it is, you're going to lose your liberty in 3 more years. So it's BS. You can't. I'd rather be in danger and live free than be surveilled at all times.
What it sounds like, and correct me if I'm going down the wrong road, but it sounds like Project Bluebeam when you're talking about technology used to usher in, this the second coming that the interview asked about. that he's commented on, right?
You know, and this is all from if you look at a book.
Am I going down the right? Okay.
Exactly. There's a book called The Age of AI and the Human Future. It's by Kissinger, Eric Schmidt, and Daniel Huttenlocher. I mean, this book basically from like 15 years ago tells you exactly what they planned on doing now. And if you don't think tanks are planning 15, 20 years ahead, you're just not seeing it. You're just not paying attention. You know, and it stinks to be the bearer of bad news, but this is just the way this machine operates. Think tanks plan this stuff out. They run AI scenarios. They have a million. It's like playing chess with a supercomputer that can't be beat, because we're all just trying to grind out our day. And every time you look around, there's a new big, beautiful bill. There's more debt. There's the erosion of the currency. There's more divide and conquer, and it just doesn't end. So, you know, I just got to keep an eye on Peter Thiel and the authoritarians who, you know, they're going to get what they want. They're going to get their NATO and the West versed everybody else. And, you know, obviously we're cannon fodder at the bottom.
All right, hour 2 live from Studio 6B, coming right up on a Monday, right after this.
Chat live in the chat. Howdy, chatterbaters.
Howdy.
What's happening? What's that?
Yeah, a lot of people are seeing it. That's what's good about we have a good people who are looking into the deep stuff, which is good to know. We got one guy that said boring, but he probably can't read.
Well, some of it, you know, if you've heard of it and you hear somebody like yourself talking about it, then it all of a sudden it's like, wait, I'm not crazy. Somebody on TV is talking about this.
Yep.
This makes sense now, and it has people looking into it. I know a lot of times I'll come across something, I'll be like, you know what? Let me go look and see what this is all about. 3 hours later, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm you know,
this AI thing, it's here, but man, I don't know
if you see this Mother Stink guy. By the way, how funny a name is that? I'm sorry, that just it cracks me up when I see it. Remember Event 201? You know, it was they tell you they're doing stuff, and it happens.
Then they do it, and while they're doing it, they tell you you're crazy for noticing that they're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Absolutely. And I would like to I have some time set out on Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. I'm going to play the full interview while I'm at the gym. But I just, man, Big Brother stuff is real. It's just real. I mean, these people, they just want all the power. They want all the money, and us filthy mouth breathers are taking up their land. That's how they see us.
Well, a lot going on in the NBA tonight, huh? Signings.
Yeah.
Brooke Lopez now.
Yeah, well, it was, what is it, July 1st, but I guess they're able to do stuff after a certain time at night. A lot of trades. I don't think our audience is going to be interested in that stuff, transactions.
No.
The Islanders killed it, though, in the draft. Did they not?
I'm very happy.
You see that second round
This
kid
Darch guy, right? He's amazing. I love him. You know what? Already I could see. You see that kid? I actually had tears in my eyes when I played that back Friday night. The kid getting.
God.
I had tears in my eyes with the mother.
Sweetheart.
Oh, my
That kid
God.
was on Good Morning America.
I'm rooting for him.
And he was The hosts were like,
people in the
how
chat
are
like,
you 17 years old? You talk like you're 30.
I never bought a jersey for a first-round pick for a draft of the Islanders, but I'm thinking about changing my mind about buying this kid's jersey. Kid was great.
Mr. Nolan thinks I'm trying to take over the world. He might be right. Put him back in Damon's trunk.
All right, thank you, Bill. Live from Studio 6, Hour 2, 9 p.m. on Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick Rick's going to do some sports. Rick Delgado's going to do some more top headlines. Mr. Nolan is here. He's going to do some more news.
He's here.
You suck.
Aaron and Fred holding it down as always.
Talk about a trunk show.
A lot to talk about in Hour 2. Of course, the big news everyone's talking about is the Senate tonight voting on the big, beautiful bill. I'll tell you the other thing that's shaping up is when and if and when, unfortunately, I think it's going to be more when it gets back to the House, what happens? Mike Johnson's going to have quite the little test in front of him. Let's hope it's more of a test than even I hope. Because let's hope the Freedom Caucus puts up more of a fight for this disaster. But it will be interesting to see what happens once it gets back there. Because the Senate has unequivocally made it worse. I think it went from $3 trillion added on to now $5 trillion in the Senate. So now it's going to go back to eventually it goes back to the House, and I still see people all throughout the Hour 1, as we talked about it, still blaming the parliamentarian. Oh, Harry Reid. Why are we dealing with someone Harry Reid's? Yes, okay. You could say that about Thune, but it's just an excuse. It's just an excuse. And I'm reminded tonight that John Thune, back in October 8th of 2016, tweeted out, Donald Trump should withdraw and Mike Pence should be our nominee effective immediately. And Gunther Eagleman says, this is why John Thune won't fire the Senate parliamentarian. And again, I'm all for this, firing or whatever. But if the Republicans really wanted to fire, get around, change, say, I don't think so, they could do it. But they're not doing it. Just like if they wanted to deal with tax cuts and the other stuff that's important to them and not fund the Green New Deal and all these other things, they could do that as well. So, again, the excuses only go so far. And if no one's willing to say, well, wait, are there any other options for them? Are their hands really this tied? The answer to most times you would ask that, the answer is no. But that's where we're at tonight.
Yeah, it sucks.
Couple other reactions on social media tonight. The House should reject this bill, amend the provisions taken out, and send it back. The Republicans are shaping up to waste this opportunity. And America First Insights say Speaker Johnson has already said they are looking to do another, possibly two more reconciliation bills. The main priority in the OBB is the tax cuts and deportation funding. We gain more ground in the next two reconciliation bills, and hopefully the parliamentarian is out. And that's at least some reasonable direction. Like we just said, deal with the tax cuts, deal with border security, deal with that. But we'll see. We will see. Let's do some more top headlines in the world since we didn't do too many in hour one. Rick Delgado's got it. That's brought to you by our friends at EternalLifeCoin.com. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, we wanted to see mass firings, Damon. Well, we're seeing some of that, believe it or not, coming out of the Justice Department earlier today. Announced charges for 324 people, including, get this, 100 medical professionals in what the DOJ called the largest healthcare fraud takedown in U.S. history. Here's the attorney from the DOJ announcing that this is cut number 10. Check this out.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Matthew Gagliotti, and I'm the head of the Justice Department's Criminal Division. Thank you all for joining us today as we announce the largest coordinated healthcare fraud takedown in the history of the Department of Justice.
Yeah, I just said that.
Today marks a decisive moment in our fight to protect American taxpayers from fraudsters and to defend the integrity of America's healthcare system. We are announcing today charges against 324 defendants for their alleged participation in healthcare fraud schemes involving approximately $14.6 billion in false claims submitted to Medicare, Medicaid, and other healthcare programs.
Yeah, and according to this, the $14.6 billion crackdown spanned 50 states, including charges ranging from opioid trafficking to telemedicine fraud to transnational identity theft. Of the total charge, 77 defendants were prosecuted by state attorneys generals, while the remaining 247 are going to face federal charges. Authorities said they also seized over $245 million in cash, luxury vehicles, cryptocurrency, and other assets. And Attorney General Pam Bondi said the takedown delivers justice to the criminal actors who prey upon our most vulnerable citizens and steal from hard-working, tax-paying Americans. So some good news there coming out of that, Damon, believe it or not. So we're seeing a little bit of the some of that mass arrest that we were hoping for. Maybe we'll get some names. Actually, if you do go on X and put this story in, or you asked who was arrested in Grok, they'll give you the names. So you can find out if any of these people you've been associated with, medically, might be under arrest, and they might not be available to you anymore. So there you have it.
Did you see this lunatic at this Glastonbury Music Festival? Good for Marco Rubio, by the way, revoking his visa because he was bragging about how his concert tour was going to be coming to the U.S. Well, guess what, pal? Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not only that, but his talent agency dropped him too, this lunatic. Did you see this video of this guy?
Yeah, I saw the video.
I tried to avoid the news on Sunday. When I saw it, it was beyond disgusting.
People arguing this is cancel culture. I said, cancel culture? Did you listen to the video? How is it cancel culture?
Can't even play.
The guy getting dropped by his agency. The guy asked the audience if he had heard his new chant, death, death to the IDF. And the audience went along with it. It wasn't like he said something that kind of was maybe like a gray area and his cancel culture was like too much. What do you mean it's cancel culture?
Right.
I thought that was crazy.
I mean, calling for murder, calling for genocide? A little much.
That's the hallmark of the left, though. That's what they do.
Crazy.
So this guy's been dropped by United Talent Agency following their Glastonbury performance, and his visa's been revoked by the State Department, so he will not be touring here.
Right.
Oops.
So I guess John Cusack and Bono will be giving him half their money. I mean, you see some of the quotes of these morons the last couple of days?
They've been terrible.
John Cusack is another guy who's now
He's just
on my
a moron.
list.
Just a moron. Hey, you want
talking about this guy they've been talking about?
No, I'm just saying, every time one of these guys, now he'll play the role of victim, and these Hollywood wackadoodles like Cynthia Nixon will rally to his defense.
Yeah. A GoFundMe account or something.
Yeah. You want some good news here, Damon?
Yeah, sure.
Check this out. This will be cut number 7 as a father leaps into the ocean after his daughter falls off a Disney cruise. The family vacation aboard the Disney Cruise Line's Disney Dream. Check this out. This is after they were rescued. They were basically treading water for 30 minutes. The girl fell off the boat from the second deck. The father immediately dropped what he was doing, jumped in after her, saved her, and it took about 30 minutes for this rescue boat to get out to them from the cruise ship.
30 minutes.
They announced their thanks to the response to the cruise ship that rescued them within minutes. The June 29th incident occurred aboard the Disney Dream, returning to Fort Lauderdale after a 4-night Bohemian itinerary, which included a stop at Disney's private destination Lookout Cay. In a statement to Fox, the crew aboard the Disney Dream swiftly rescued the 2 guests from the water. We commend our crew members for their exceptional skills and prompt actions. We ensure the safety of guests both were on the ship within minutes. And again, it was, when you look at the height that this girl fell and that the dad jumped in.
What was the height? Did you see?
It was from the second deck, which is pretty high.
75 or 80 feet?
Probably, at least that high.
That's a big deal.
At least to the water.
You have to wonder how that happens.
How the heck did she stay afloat?
According to some of the stories that I read on this, he was actually putting her in a position to take a photo.
Oh, no.
And she may have leaned back and fell over, and that's when
dangerous.
he
Some of these
jumped
pictures
over.
that people take.
People want to get their good shots.
I know, but
social media matters.
Self-awareness. Got to be careful.
Got to get 11 likes.
Yeah, but at least the father did the right thing.
Oh yeah,
and jumped in after.
Wasn't it?
So that's a bit of good news there, and also a bit of good news for the. Hopefully, we can consider this good news for the families of the 4 University of Idaho students who were murdered. Brian Kohlberger has agreed to plead guilty to all counts in the killings, sparing him the death penalty, according to a letter sent to the victims' family members, informing them of the plea deal. Kohlberger was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary in connection to the 2022 killings of Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogan, Zana Kernodle, and her boyfriend, Ethan Chapin. He's going to be sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences on the murder counts and a maximum penalty of 10 years on the burglary. He's going to waive his right to appeal, is also an important stipulation, as prosecutors anticipate sentencing to take place later on in July, as long as Kohlberger enters the guilty plea as expected at the change of plea hearing, which is scheduled for this Wednesday. And again, this is according to the letter received by one of the family members.
You think
victims.
The families think this is good? Good? I wouldn't think so. Would pay for that son of a bitch now?
You know
Should
what?
have gone to the chair.
He's got life in
should have
prison.
been able to pull the handle or whatever the hell they were going to do.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it that way, but if you get a guaranteed 4 life sentences,
he's done.
Chances are this guy ain't going to make it too long.
No.
So you hope that things go the way they go in prison.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes
because sometimes the prisoners take care of things themselves.
Yeah, you're talking about all the rape.
Yeah. Or maybe he ends up in alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah, right. The Norm Macdonald bit on that.
Yeah.
If you guys go to my ex, Paul_eggs Nolan, I have a story that it's way too big to read here, but it's how Iran war exposed the limits of Chinese influence in region. Beijing has to revisit its strategies and reconsider its approach to the Trump administration. It's a fantastic read, and I think Epoch Times is as good as it gets when it comes to just honest journalism. So hopefully you guys can go over there and check it out.
All right. Find all the guys, of course, on social media all the time, and find the show at LFS6B on pretty much all social media outlets. Hit the like and subscribe. We always appreciate it. So, all right, let's take a break. We'll come back. More news to do. We'll go over the numbers on the Senate version of Trump's tax bill. I see Anna Paulina Luna out tonight going, the Senate had a chance to make this thing better. And, well, quite frankly, they've screwed it up, and this is what none of us voted for. So now you've got, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens when this thing gets back to the House. Live from Studio 6B, 13 past the hour. We're back right after this.
Nothing from Harper. I watched them. They can't. They look at. You did everything right. I mean, they look as good as they're going to look.
Delgado, you haven't even done the best news of the day, and that's this lunatic Tillis deciding
that he's not going to run.
This moron's not going to run anymore. And of course, now you can expect for what's he got left? 18 months to vote no on every single thing. So it's basically like losing the vote. Not that we even had the vote or care, but.
Chat, live in the chat. What's going on in the chat? Check it.
Daniil Medvedev. Yeah.
What happened?
Wimbledon started today. Daniil Medvedev, he's number 9 in the world. He lost to the guy named B. Bonzi. 7-6, 6-3, 7-6, 6-2. Wow. That's a big upset. Henry Rune, he lost. Lost 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets. Wow.
Jethro TXK, thank you.
Alcaraz,
He's enjoying the show tonight there, Damon, in the Rumble chat.
Who's that?
Jethro TXK in the Rumble chat.
Jethro Toll.
Hey, Jethro Toll.
Doc's Girl, Great 99, Joe Ed Jr., Maxwell Schmott.
Hey, 99.
Howdy.
How you doing, 99?
Missed it by that much.
That's right.
Chief?
Chief, yeah.
Remember the Cone of Silence?
Yes.
They put on the Cone of Silence.
I like that show.
That show was hilarious.
He's healthy on the Yuka app.
He was good,
He's
though.
healthy on the Yuka app.
He's still alive, right?
No.
They're not like really good to you.
Still alive.
No.
I forget his name.
You'd be lucky if you make it to the car.
I don't remember the acting.
I was going to say, he give me 3 weeks.
I'll sound like the slow blues. Well, my thing kicked me out here, so I'm going to have to wait. But it sounds like the blues, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B, which means I'm going to read something to you. And I think it's our friends from the Tax Network. And that's exactly who it is, because this month, Tax Network USA proudly celebrates our nation's birthday, honoring freedom, resilience, and financial independence. To mark the occasion, they're offering 10% off all their services through July 4th. If you're dealing with back taxes or missed the April 15th deadline, don't wait. The IRS is rapidly stepping up enforcement. Penalties can add up quickly, up to 5% per month, maxing out at 25% of your total tax bill just for not filing. That's on top of what you already owe. But there's good news. Tax Network USA can still help you turn things around. Whether you're self-employed, run a business or your books are a complete mess, their team knows how to cut through the chaos and find solutions that work. Your consultation is always free. Getting ahead of the problem now could help you avoid harsh penalties, wage garnishments, and surprise bank levies. Take the first step. Call 1-800-905-8000, 1-800-905-8000, or visit online, tnusa.com, tnusa.com/RAV, tnusa.com/RAV. Don't forget, you get 10% off all services through July 4th as part of their celebration of our nation's birthday. Regain control of your finances with expert help from our friends at Tax Network USA. And of course, that means this week you got to get on it. So go right now, tnusa.com/RAV, or call 1-800-905-8000. All right, 18 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday, last week of June. Again, we'll be off on Friday for the 4th of July. We'll be back on, obviously, a week from tonight, start a brand new week. But this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. No show Friday at the warehouse this week. But man, last Friday's warehouse show, the audience was just electric in there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And we can tell because if those of you who have not been to the warehouse don't know this, I'm giving away a little bit of a secret, but we have an intro just for the people at the live audience. And every time that intro rolls, Slick, of course, is first out. And I can always tell when Slick comes around the corner and I listen what the audience size is. And when you came out last Friday, it was raucous.
They were rocking.
Yeah,
they were
and
rocking.
I could just tell. So
that was a great audience.
A week from this Friday, we'll be back at the warehouse. So if you want to join us, make your plans now. The America First Warehouse, Friday, July 11th, we will be back there, and it'll be a great time. So, all right, let's do some sports. Speaking of the Slickster, sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. If you want to shop at MyPillow, go to mypillow.com/LFS6B and see all the best deals for this audience, which I'm going to partake of to get my son ready to go to school. Going to get him a mattress topper and so he can sleep on that bed and be comfortable there, Slick, over at Sacred Heart University. So what's going on in sports?
I think part of the reason the crowd was so fired up, Harry wasn't revving him up. I think we had somebody else filling in for Harry on the highway.
Harry couldn't be there.
Harry couldn't be there.
Harry had to leave a couple hours before, so he told me he couldn't be there. So last minute, you know who filled in? Our good friend Joe the Box.
He's unbelievable.
And man, did Joe do a great job.
Yep.
And by the way, I let Harry know on Saturday what a great job Joe did. Hint, hint. Said, Harry, I love you, but you're fired.
Yep. Like
did you really fire him? Did you say?
Joe the Box.
Joe the
as
Box
long as Joe wants to do it.
Aaron likes it.
Joe will be. We're not supposed to tell everybody that. Slick. That was a secret for us.
Inside,
I think Harry's going to have to be fired on this job.
Yeah.
Because Joe was great.
Joe had him fired up.
He did.
Oh, yeah, he's so good at that.
Harry could work the grill so we can get some portion burgers. Come on, Harry.
We'll put
Harry, get on the grill, Harry.
We'll
Get
just
on the
put
grill,
Harry on the headphones so we can just talk to Aaron. No, wait, she doesn't want to do that either. No, we won't do that. No. Slick, what's going on in sports?
All right, let's go. Wimbledon kicked off today, Big D. Wimbledon tennis tournament.
Really?
Oh, yeah, in England. So wraps up over the weekend. We can't wait, of course. Couple of upsets. Well, Alina Svitolina, of course, she won 6-3, 6-1 over Bonder. But Ostapenko, world number 20, she lost 7-5, 6-2, 6-2. On the men's side, Carlos Alcaraz had a really, really tough match. Went 5 sets. He held on to win. And Tsitsipas right now, he is trailing 6-3, 6-2, and they're in the third set. He's world number 24, so got to keep an eye on that as well. And Rune lost as well today in a long one. 5 sets. Lost to Jarry. And let's see. Oh, Daniil Medvedev, he lost today. He's a big name. He's world number 9. He lost to Bonzi. So Wimbledon, we'll keep track. I'll have more updates as obviously the week goes on and we get down to the finals over the weekend, but we love Wimbledon, of course. And we got a great Caitlin Clark story, by the way. You guys hear about this one? WNBA star Caitlin Clark's new Kobe 5 sneakers sold out in 5 minutes.
Wow.
Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart. Yeah, in fact, a couple of folks in the chat as well had reached out to Mr. MRV 1961. He said, Slick Rick, did you know Caitlin Clark's sneakers sold out in 5 minutes? And I'm like, that's my next sports story. So here it is. Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart. Nike released WNBA star Caitlin Clark's new sneakers on Monday, but if you blinked, you missed it because their entire inventory sold out in 5 minutes. Clark's $190 Kobe 5 Protro went on sale on Monday morning, but they lasted only minutes before scalpers began posting them to eBay for more than $400 a pair, TMZ reported. Nike described Clark's shoe as featuring midnight navy, bright crimson, vibrant hints of university gold, and polished over with a high gloss finish that glistens under the spotlight. Clark had previously noted that she only wears Nike Kobe models when she hits the court. This is not the first time Clark's gear was a quick sellout. In 2024, her WNBA All-Star jersey immediately went out of stock as well. So Nike, note to self, why don't you sell more Caitlin Clark merchandise? I'd be releasing sneakers every other month for her. The kid is unbelievable. I mean, this is the Michael Jordan of her sport. But then I heard some rumors, and I don't have the story, but I heard something to the effect that there's some scuttlebutt about starting another league with her in it. They're really getting fed up.
That's something we talked about, right?
Yeah, we did.
Talked about her going to Europe.
Maybe we started that rumor. I don't know.
If they don't start making sure that they call the fouls that are being called the right way, and she's getting targeted, that we were talking about, hey, just pack up your stuff and say, hey, I'm out. I'm going to go play in Europe. They'll pay me 10 times more.
I mean,
and
how about the girl Cunningham, her new police enforcer?
Yeah.
Yes, I love her. Sophie Cunningham.
Sophie Cunningham. She's so cool. I mean, now that I watched a couple of how
she's
the
a star now.
goes, on the reels. She's
she's got 1 million TikTok followers, maybe more now.
Yeah, she's. I mean, dude, if Damon's wife and daughter can dunk on me, but she's fantastic, and her interviews talking about her MMA background, her football background. Anybody messes with my girl, I'm knocking you out, and I don't care.
I love it. The bodyguard, right?
I love that sort of thing.
Yeah, and speaking of more sales, Pope Leo XIV tops now card seller for thousands. His card's going for Dylan.
His rookie card?
Yeah,
Cool.
you got it. The election of the first American gained worldwide attention in early May, not just among the faithful, but also among collectors who sought to capitalize on the fact that the new pontiff is not just an American, but an avid baseball fan. Topps now released a limited edition trading card commemorating the historic moment, and it has paid off in a big way. The Pope Leo card has been in high demand, resulting in the production of 133,535 copies as of the time of this writing. As of Sunday, the Pope Leo XIV Superfractor 1 of 1 sold for $16,500 at auction through Fanatics Collect. So I guess they did 133,000 cards, but then there's a 1 of 1 card that you could get mixed in. They always like to do that. Topps also printed a white smoke variation card in honor of Pope Leo XIV. The company printed 267 of the cards to honor him as the 267th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. The white smoke is in keeping with the church tradition to burn white smoke from the Vatican to announce the selection of a new pope. After much speculation over the Pope's true baseball allegiances where they lie, the pontiff appeared in the black White Sox half of pictures early this month, settling the dispute and leaving the Cubs fans bitterly disappointed. The pontiff's wearing a Shiz Sox hat gave Northsiders a rare glimpse of happiness and hope, but I don't think the White Sox are going to win anytime soon. That's a wrap in sports. Take it out, Rick.
All right. Well, thank you, Slick. And again, Slick Rick Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Use our code LFS6B at checkout. Damon's going to save a ton of money when he buys his kid some stuff. So there you have it.
There you go.
We'll take a quick break. We come back. More live from Studio 6B. Stay there.
Thanks for tuning in.
When it relates to what?
Like China being a superpower, economic superpower by 2020, and a military superpower by 2025. Talked about the Biden narratives. But CNN, it's just so back. I loved Pat Buchanan there. I said it. I don't care if you dislike me for it. One of my favorites.
Paul Nolan.
The man was so prophetic. In fact, I'm gonna share this. Oh, I did it. Let's see.
Oh, I got you.
You got Dr. McCullough?
Yeah, he's getting
so.
popular.
He's fantastic.
He is. He's really
Can I say hi, Damon?
He's getting a big name.
Huh?
Can I say hi to him, Damon?
Yeah.
Well, tell him I think he's terrific.
He is.
It's not a crush. It's an admiration.
Or?
I think Dr. McCullough's cool.
Oh, he's definitely hip.
Oh, I thought John.
That's
good.
okay.
Thanks, Doc. We love you. And I loved John Wayne. And
well, let me tell you, Cowboy.
Hey, big fan, first time, long time.
Yeah, and Pat Buchanan. I thought he was fantastic.
Who's next here? WFA.
Hey,
New York 660. John from Queens is on the line. John, go ahead. First time, long time.
Long time.
Is there anything dumber to say the first thing you get? First time, long time.
It's like when a cop pulls you over. You ever been drinking? I just had one tonight. My friend cop says, don't ever say that to a cop.
First time, long time. What have you been waiting for? It's a long time.
Who has one drink? I just had one.
You might as well say first time, never wanted to call before.
That's something you'd say.
Were you on, speaking of radio, were you on KDJ this morning?
Oh, yeah, I was. I forgot
how
to mention
conveniently forgets. Oh, yeah, I was. Oh,
I've had a busy day, Damon.
Did you go to the studio or did you call
I
in?
went to the studio. I had to work. I had to go do the show. Then I go back to work. Then I go to the doctor.
Lunch hour.
Well, why is it you and Kevin, neither one of you put anything in the group chat so any of us knew we could support you and listen?
I don't know.
Because they were afraid we were going to call in. Hello, first time call.
He normally
I would have called in.
Out there.
First time, long time. First time hanging up.
How you bahookies?
Bye.
Hello, how you bahookies doing?
Hey, hey, Aaron, quick question. Do you still have that Israel versus Iran thing that you made for Friday? Because we never played it, right?
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Real America's Voice on a Monday, June 30th, last day of the month, halfway through the year as we head into quarter three. It is going by so fast. Slick's going to do some more sports. Delgado's going to have more top headlines. Paul Nolan's going to have some more news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Please welcome back to the show one of our favorite people. He's the Chief Scientific Officer over at the Wellness Company, Dr. Peter McCullough. Dr. McCullough, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure to have you back on. Appreciate it. It's hard to believe we're still talking about new COVID variants, but I believe there's a new COVID variant. This one, I guess, targeting the throat. They're calling it the razor blade throat variant. Man, oh man, I tell you, it's hard to figure, but tell us what we need to know about this one, if anything.
What do they come up with next? Razor blade sore throat. It sounds like you guys have been taking shots of tequila over there. I mean, it's a sore throat. I've seen patients who've had the most recent variant. It's called Nimbus 1.8.1, about 37% of cases. Very responsive, by the way, to ivermectin. I mean, can clear it up very quickly within a day or so. So I'm not worried about it at all.
Yeah. To be serious for a second, it does feel somewhat coincidental that, you've got RFK. He's talking about cover-ups that he's finding. You're talking about less vaccines. It seems like trust in vaccines is at an all-time low. Is this somewhat of a scare tactic? Do pharmaceutical companies obviously want to use scare tactics to try to boost bottom-line revenues and kind of bring people back in? Is that something that they try to do?
Well, our public health agencies are doing it. So around the time they came out with their razor blade sore throat campaign, there was an announcement that the FDA approved more boosters for the fall. And the boosters are against the long extinct J1 variant. The JN variant has no chance of working whatsoever. America is not taking the boosters. Sadly, our government is blowing money on them and then pouring them down the drain.
Kind of to that point, I think a lot of us have been in this, what I'm about to ask you, for a long time. But, COVID is just something now that we're going to have to think of as the flu, obviously. Most of us have been there, have figured this is, we're going to live with it. Well, this is how we're going to deal with it, whether we take ivermectin once every couple weeks just to have it in our system prophylactically or whatever. How do people prepare, maybe older people who skew a little older, my parents' age, what should they do to prepare to live with COVID and prepare for it in case they do get it? Just kind of like what we do with the flu when obviously we don't want to take the flu shot.
That's a good question. There are now over-the-counter home flu and COVID tests. The Wellness Company Emergency Contagion Kit has treatment for COVID and treatment for influenza. So if you know what you have, you can start treatment right away. So the Wellness Company has these kits. If you start treatment on the very first day, the very first night of symptoms, can clear up very quickly. You wait to 3 or 4 days into it, it's a different story.
When I first learned about ivermectin, I think it was in actually congressional testimony, and I forgot who the doctor was that was swearing by it. This is a very long time ago, right into the beginning of COVID. But one of the first things I remember hearing about it, besides all the horse stuff, was that it used to treat lice and for parasites. And I remember hearing that was one of the first things I heard about. And now you're hearing more about parasites, when before I don't feel like I ever paid any attention to parasites and just figured it's something you deal with. But people who eat a lot of fish and sushi and things like that, parasites can become a problem. What do you recommend to avoid parasites, or to flush or make sure you don't have anything going on that you shouldn't?
I know some of you guys on the panel have gone to a restaurant, and it says in a little asterisk at the bottom, it says, warning, eating uncooked seafood can be dangerous. And they're talking about eating spores or little parasite spores. You can get them from your dogs, your cats, drinking stream water. And the CDC calls them NPIs, or neglected parasitic infections. They're hard to diagnose, but people with kind of generalized symptoms, especially abdominal cramping, weight loss, night sweats, it's a reasonable chance that they have one of these parasitic infections. Wellness Company has a combination, ivermectin, mebendazole. It's very, very effective. So if you go to the Wellness Company and review it with one of the doctors there, you can get that prescription right away, and then, in a sense, end this concern about having a chronic parasitic infection.
TWC.health/voice is the place to go. TWC.health/voice. Finally, I want to ask you, I mentioned RFK Jr. before. He came out this week and said the CDC covered up an internal study which found a 1,135% increase in autism risk from the hepatitis B vaccine. Have you heard about this? And do you have any thoughts about this?
Our CDC report on autism that came out this year from 2022 data is a disaster. There's an autism epidemic. 3.2% of kids have it. 5% of kids in California. 27% of them have severe autism. IQ less than 55, head banging, not verbally communicating, wearing diapers. They'll never be able to manage themselves the rest of their lives. Autism is a big epidemic. And if it's linked to vaccines in any way, we need the truth. I'm all for an all-out investigation. It may be some combination of vaccines given together where it's a risk factor for autism, but we have to do something, or autism is going to be an existential threat to the next generation.
Yeah, I can remember reading David Kirby's book, Evidence of Harm, in the 1990s about thimerosal and the link to all of this back then. And here we are, 2025, still finding things like this. So, again, you can go to twc.health/voice, twc.health/voice, promo code VOICE over at our good friends at the Wellness Company. Dr. McCullough, always appreciate a few moments of your time.
Thank you.
Dr. Peter McCullough right here live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. Always good stuff with him.
So what are you going to get first? Are you going to try to get a parasite to lose weight? Are you going to take like an mRNA throat lozenge for your...
You mean the throat razor?
I'm doing none of it. I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing for the last 5 years, which is to take at least one ivermectin a week.
Yeah, but that...
for the, the right dosage.
Stomach virus, we could both lose some weight. Be good for the ratings.
Ooh, yeah. You know what? You could be one stomach virus away from your ideal bikini weight.
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't know if one stomach virus is going to get me there. I might have to have more of a...
He needs a plague.
Just a black plague available. Well,
sorry, I was sitting there.
I don't know. Weren't we supposed to do something with some... Who knows? Whatever. But no, that's what to be serious, that's what I've done since COVID, and that's what I continue to do. And
Where do you get your
I'll tell you, knock on wood, I haven't had, other than allergies, I'm just giving myself the kiss of death here. I know.
Yeah, pretty much.
I haven't been sick with anything respiratory since I've been taking it.
Why do you do that?
I know, but it's just the truth.
Well, I guess we won't be seeing him Friday.
We won't be seeing any of us Friday.
Well, we're off Friday, thank God. So if I get sick, let it be now. All right, 38 past the hour from Studio 6B.
You don't pay much attention to parasites. That's why you ignore us.
What are we doing here? Yeah, exactly. That's a good point, Slick. Let's do some new, Paul. Anything else headline-wise that caught your attention today in the news?
So Delgado kind of hit all my big ones, but I'll just go through some of the idiots of Hollywood. Charlize Theron, she weighed in recently.
Oh, great.
This rocket scientist said millions are going to die following Trump foreign aid cuts. F them.
What's that in reference to?
Charlize Theron, in her latest Hollywood celebrity, to decry President Donald Trump's cut in a wasteful and corrupted foreign aid spending. She's accusing the administration of making cuts out of spite and vindictiveness, not sound policy. This rocket scientist went on to say the world feels like it's burning because it is. Here in Los Angeles and in the U.S. and across the globe, we are moving backwards fast. Immigration policy is destroying the lives of families, not criminals. Women's rights are becoming less and less every day. Queer and trans lives are increasingly being erased, and gender-based violence is, Aaron, blow me up, is on the rise. This isn't just policy, it's personal. F them.
All right.
That's another wackadoodle talking and chiming in.
Yeah, who cares about any of these people and what they think?
But they are influencing the youth and the idiots and the middle-aged moms watching The View. And like, she's a hero. She really stands up for my voice. People listen to these idiots and they form their opinions. You know, people are jokes. So John Cusack chimed in. Bunch of morons out there. So, and then I don't know if you saw this. Whoever, Tilda Swinton, Steve Coogan, and a bunch of others. And as always, unfortunately, Roger Waters, who I would like to give him the back of my hand, chimed in as well that Trump is evil and he's the devil and free Palestine. So maybe their label will cut them as well.
All right, very good. Any follow-up, Delgado? I'm seeing this on Breaking 911. Russ Rowley, 20, the gunman in the Idaho ambush shootings, had Nazi tendencies in school, sketched pictures of guns and swastikas in a notebook, and was obsessed with guns, 3 former classmates said. That was in USA Today about it's on Breaking 911 on X, but they're quoting USA Today from about 15 minutes ago. Anything else you've been able to find on this horrific story?
I just see a bunch of, like I mentioned in the break after I did the story, the differences between some of these news organizations naming the shooter and not naming the shooter. It's kind of odd.
Who has not named him?
Whoever I think it was CBS or NBC that I read that story. And they didn't have his name in there. But meanwhile, ABC had it.
In fairness, I do think that they just broke the name about 2 hours ago.
See, but I feel like people had the name yesterday.
Okay.
So,
that's the post story I said. They named them recently. But
how about Canada bending the knee on this thing we reported on Friday, or somebody reported on the digital...
on the tax.
Yeah.
Yep. All of a sudden, whoops. With that tax we were going to do, that was just a joke. Can we have a deal? That's basically Canada throwing in, giving up that big tax that was going to affect a lot of U.S. companies.
Yep, they turned over a new leaf.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any clips of Trump at the UN being asked by the Ukrainian news reporter whose husband was? There was some good clips there. I'll send them in for Wednesday.
But I do have this from CNN Scott Jennings, as even Newsweek is now admitting last week was Donald Trump's best week yet. Check this out. It's cut number 6. CNN Scott Jennings, cut 6.
Donald Trump just going crazy in terms of executive orders. He can issue an executive order today and will likely. He said so today. And he knows that the lower courts cannot carte blanche stop him, which hugely increases the power of the executive.
Yeah, look, this is a great week for him, not just because of this ruling, but earlier in the week, the Supreme Court handed him the ruling on being able to deport illegal immigrants to third-party countries, essentially. So he's on a little bit of a winning streak in the courts right now. And what a lot of Republicans are saying is, nope, we're not tired of winning yet. This happened. The stock market's at a record high. He brokered the ceasefire in the 12-day war. Peace broke out between Rwanda and the Congo. I mean, gas prices are at a 4-year low for the summer. I mean, win after win after win. And this particular one is the most important because these individual judges had been, I think, unfairly stopping the president from governing. He won the election. They didn't. We don't have 600 presidents. We have one president. And now he's going to be able to actually govern. And so you could make an argument that this week or the last 2 weeks, the best week or 2 weeks of his entire presidency.
Yeah.
Abby Phillips.
Reactions.
Abby Phillips. Less tyranny in the Senate equals expanding the power of the presidency. Really?
Actually, just
returning the power that the Constitution always felt that the president had is not expanding the presidency.
Exactly.
Moron.
Well, Trump said it. We're going to win so much You may even get tired of winning, and you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore, Mr. President. No way. Keep going.
That's racist.
Yeah, it is. Chat live in the chat.
This garbage could probably kill COVID, too. I had no time to eat. But time I was done with work, I had a chance for...
Well, there's a White Castle on the way home, man.
Yeah. Plenty of food options.
Plenty.
Oh, my God. Oh, I'm popping. I sound like a bowl of Rice Krispies over here. Snap, crackle, and pop. I have one last story about Trump, if you're interested. Trump signs executive order lifting decades-long sanctions on Syria. Another war that didn't gain us anything. Or maybe it kept the dollar.
That sounds terrible. Friend used to do those little sound bites. He doesn't do them anymore. Miss Biden some.
Boy, Idaho's got something going on, man. This the college murderer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're, agrees to plead guilty. With the death penalty.
Smash potato.
Do you have this story about Jerome Powell supposedly accused of lying to Congress? Only interested in that, obviously, because Trump, I wonder if this gives him some kind of a door to whether he can or can't fire him. Or maybe he's hoping. What's the story there? If you have it, just because I don't really know the details. Try to see if you can find it.
Pull this up. Come on. What's going on here?
Oh. Accused of lying to Congress over $2.5 billion Palace of Versailles headquarters revamp.
Mm.
I think Child of the King had another $20 super chat. Big D.
Thank you, Child of the King.
I didn't get a chance to read it.
Thank you.
Basically, just saying that it was Dr. Jill was the one who used the auto pen.
The only good news of the day, well, not the only good news, but some of the really good news today, of course, is we find out that Tom Tillis has decided that he's not going to rerun in North Carolina. And good. As I've been saying, I don't know, for a year now, that if Lara Trump really wanted to do something, forget running in Florida, run in your home state against him, but now you won't have to run against him. He's decided that he's backed himself so far into a corner, he doesn't know which way to turn. So now he's just going to, you can expect in the next 18 months for him to vote against everything. If Trump puts up a bill to cure some disease, you can expect Tillis to vote against it. And that's just the way it's going to be until he's finally gone and we're rid of him, which we should have been years ago. But unfortunately, this is, these are the Republicans we continue to elect and re-elect and re-endorse. But finally, we'll be rid of him. So that's good news. Let's try to get to all the guys here before we wrap it up. I'll start with sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. Slickster's got it. What's going on, Slick?
All right, Big D, quick sweep of the scoreboard. Major League Baseball right now, Pirates lead the Cardinals 7-0, top of the 8th. Top of the 9th, the Blue Jays over the Yankees 5-4. Red Sox bombing the Reds 13-5, top 9. Also top 9, A's and Rays tied at 4. Orioles 3-0 over the Angels, bottom of the 6th. Middle of the 1st, just underway, Royals and Mariners, no score. As is Giants and Diamondbacks, bottom of the 1st, none there. Phillies over the Padres 4-0 earlier today, and that's the wrap in the baseball scores. Get to a quick story. Well, ex-UFC fighter Ben Askren undergoes double lung transplant surgery. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart, former MMA fighter and wrestling star Ben Askren has received a much-needed double lung transplant amid his battle with a staph infection that turned into a case of severe pneumonia, which left his lungs severely diminished. Askren's wife, Amy Askren, who has kept fans and followers regularly updated with reports on her husband's condition throughout his battle with the severe and sudden illness that has threatened his life, expressed her extreme gratitude for the potentially life-saving donation. We are so thankful to share that Ben has received a double lung transplant. Amy Askren wrote on her Facebook page, "We are forever thankful to the donor and his family. This is the beginning of a new lifestyle for Ben, but every new day he is a gift. It still doesn't feel real that he was walking around completely healthy just 5 weeks ago. So much can change so quickly." We should all remember that, right? Please keep Ben in your prayers that his body welcomes the new lungs as if they were his own. I am constantly in awe of all people carrying us through right now. I can't wait to tell Ben all about it. So great story there for Ben Askren. And real quick, the Reno Rodeo has wrapped up. All around cowboy, yes, you guessed it. The great Stetson Wright picked up $22,654 for saddle bronc riding and bull riding. And just real quick, bareback finals went to Garrett Shadbolt, 89 points on Rosser Rodeo's Right On. Steer wrestling went to Stetson Jorgensen, 4.2 seconds. Team roping, the final went to Coy Rallman and Cole Curry, 5 seconds flat. Saddle bronc, Zachary Dallas, 89 points on Rosser Rodeo's Yeti Rambler. And tie down went to Shane Hanshey, 7 seconds. Barrel racing, the final, Michelle Alley, 16.81 tenths. Last but not least, bull riding final went to the great Stetson Del Wright, 89.5 points on Rosser Rodeo's Logan's Legacy, $2,700. Big D, that's a wrap in sports. Back to you.
All right, Slick. Paul Nolan, anything else in the news you want to hit?
Yes, sir. Let me go back to the story of Trump. I don't know if you saw this, but Trump decides to sign an executive order that lifts decade-long U.S. sanctions on Syria, which will ease some of the economic hardship on its new regime. The president's orders fulfills promises he made last month during a trip to the Middle East, where he blasted interventionists and neocons for wrecking far more nations than they built. The order includes lifting the 2004 National Emergency Declaration related to Syria and revokes 5 executive orders related to the declaration. It also orders Secretary of State Marco Rubio to examine Syria's designation as a state sponsor of terrorism and designation of Hayat Tahrir al-Shams as a forest terrorist organization. Don't ask me to say that again. Oops, got to say it again. Hayat Tahrir al-Shams is the group that overthrew the former Syrian President Bashar Assad a year later, and the sanctions on Assad are still expected to remain in place. So maybe we get a little, again, commerce over chaos. I think this is a good move. I think Trump knows what he's doing in the Middle East so far, and I like what he's doing.
All right, very good. 8 minutes to the hour. We'll wrap it up here on a Monday with some more headlines with Rick Delgado. Delgado, what's going on?
All right. Well, something you asked me to look into, Damon, and I've got an answer for you on Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. Believe it or not, he is being accused of lying to Congress after he denied that a $2.5 billion revamp of the central bank's Washington headquarters will load the facility with lavish amenities. Of course, the rich only get richer, and some are demanding he be punished. Powell called the Post-exclusive report in April about the bloated renovation project misleading and inaccurate, but that was led by Senator Tim Scott, who likens it to the Palace of Versailles during a grilling by the Senate Banking Committee. There are no VIP dining rooms. There's no new marble. There's no special elevators, Powell insisted. There's no new water features, no new beehives, and no new roof terrace gardens. But Powell, who's meanwhile facing heat from President Trump, directly contradicted the project's own planning documents, which were signed off by the government pen pushers back in 2021 and have not been revised. So we'll see what happens with this as more of it starts to come out. Maybe this is what President Trump needs to kind of nudge this clown out the door once and for all.
All right, very good.
I did have one quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This one is a special one. As it turns out, Damon, believe it or not, big story. Buc-ee's is opening 2 new stores this week, including one state's first ever location we're still waiting for here in New York, joining dozens of other locations around the United States. Gargantuan gas station chain Buc-ee's is set to open 2 more stores with its first store ever in Virginia. So there you have it. More Buc-ee's coming to your way.
Virginia.
You know,
somebody won the big lottery.
It's getting closer to us.
I can't read all the mail that comes in because there's too much of it. But I did see there are a lot of people who are not big fans of Buc-ee's, especially truckers in this country.
Oh.
Are you aware of this?
No, I had no
I know
idea. I thought
nothing
everybody
about
loved
Buc-ee's.
it.
Wow.
But I did watch him kick a preacher out of a store who was preaching the good word.
So I believe, again, I didn't read every word of everyone that came in because there was a lot of them. Aaron, you said yes in my ears, or I don't know if that was on air. What do you know about this? That they don't allow truckers to stop in their places? Is that what the deal is?
Yeah, basically. I mean, I read a bunch of the emails that did come in, and a lot of people are saying that all across the country, a lot of Buc-ee's stores do not let any truckers park on the property, get gas at the property, go into the property at all.
Yeah, so
Don't know
Buc-ee's
why.
sucks. Right? What's our official position here? Are we changing our official position?
I don't know. We got a lot of good Buc-ee's. You know what? Why don't we find out? There could be some restrictions in terms of what
But I
they
know
can
that they're very
accommodate.
pro-patriot. I mean, that's just Harry's done a bunch of stuff there. He said when he's been on the road. So
Take care of our
so maybe
truckers.
they're okay.
Gotta
But
take
what's the
maybe
deal
they're
with-
okay, but not.
Got to take care of our truckers.
Maybe we need
But
to
the truckers-
broker. Can we broker a deal here? Maybe we can be the.
We should
probably not.
We should get the created and owned by Arch Beaver Apin. Buc-ee's also has stores. Why don't we get Arch Beaver Apin in, or at least on the horn? Get him on the blow-up.
Is that a name or
What's
is that
his
a
name?
company?
His name is Arch.
I thought it was an insult.
His name is Arch Apin. His nickname is Beaver. I guess Buc-ee's.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to think of this because
Beaver needs to start giving a damn about
Work on
truckers.
it.
I like the stuff that people are sending. People obviously like
Yeah.
it, but I don't like that part at all. At all.
That's not good.
It could be. It could
Not
be.
good.
7-Eleven doesn't allow them. Should we boycott them too?
Yep. Go after
Well, they
them.
don't have places that you could. I mean,
I don't think
7-Eleven.
Buc-ee's.
7-Eleven,
can
forget
either.
about it.
Is that the thing?
Ugh.
It's small. Aren't they like a Wawa?
No, I don't think so at all. I think they're huge. All right, more research needed. All right, live from as always, we salute our military, active and active. Police, firefighters, first responders,
Finish strong,
EMTs,
guys.
all our truckers, all our farmers, everybody that keeps the country moving. We'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m., live from Studio 6B. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. We'll see you then.